beautiful morning in the city of Abeokuta, Nigeria, the 9th day in the month of August, year 2023. And what's been going on is between Niger, ECOWAS, and Nigeria. It's a wonderful day, and according to the program, newspaper headlines from BGI TV Currents. My name is Rabila Lawal, and I'm having my colleague in the house.
It's a lovely morning as I welcome all our viewers across the globe this morning to the paper review. Mori, how was your trip yesterday?
My trip went well, and we're still embarking today. And today are going to be the last day, and definitely we're going to bring it to the eyes of our followership across Nigeria and diaspora. Luckily, I want to say a big thank you to what is going on in Nigeria. There has been a call-off strike. There's agitations like what happened during the screening of former Minister of State in person of this human rights activist lawyer,
Festus
Keyamo from Delta State. That's the meaning about life, that whatever you're doing at a particular time, definitely, if not that day, definitely the following day or nearest future, it's going to hit back at you. Until he was able to apologize before he could get a bow. My take now is that is it not just shameful? You know, when you are in power, when you are in a position, you should learn to understand position and power doesn't last forever. Before your own emergence, there have been some people right there. I was lucky to be at a local government secretariat yesterday, and I could count pictures of over 21 past chairmen in that local government. And the person presently is the 22nd. And I heard that the 22nd chairman of that particular local government happens to have achieved a lot than others. Is it not just an education about life? Festus Keyamo, who was there saying things rightly for average Nigerians until he got appointment from the past administration of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari as a state minister for Labour, I think.
Exactly.
He began to swallow all of his agitations, his strength for the masses, and became someone we can't even reach out to. Sure.
Okay, Moire, to also add to what you just said, from the list of the ministerial, we have 48 of them, but 45 have been confirmed. What is your take on the issue of the former governor of Kaduna State, in person of Nasir El-Rufai? According to what I had, I had from the reports we got that Okotete and Danladi, including Nasir El-Rufai, were not yet confirmed as a result of the fact that the Senate were still waiting for the report on the issue of insecurity in their state, as at the time when they were holding one position or the other. But in case of El-Rufai, Murire, your take on that?
The people stopping El-Rufai at the screening, what have they done to their own respective constituency? Insecurity in Nigeria and in Kaduna State, where Ahmed El-Rufai was the last governor before the present one, an ex-governor, can he handle it alone? If there are no facts that he encourages or he encouraged banditry, insurgency, this man shouldn't be dealt with. This man shouldn't be stopped from his rights. He was nominated by the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I see no reason why, because you're having differences with me, and I am now trying to enjoy that privilege of the presidency, that I should go through a screening, and you find yourself one of the judges or panels to interview me, screen me. If I have any differences with you before that day, if truly you're mature enough and you want the betterment of this country, why not just go through the due process? by giving me the questions, then I answer. The only time I can say someone is a failure is when the person fails to give correct answer to the right questions asked. Secondly, if they are forgotten, let me remind them, those are the screening panel. And everyone watching us, I'm not citing Ahmed El-Rufai, but let us remember, he did his best as a governor from Kaduna State. And before his emergence as a governor of Kaduna State, he used to be the minister of FCT. The scorecard shows a lot. There's an English statement that says, before beautification, there must be destruction.
Exactly.
And every illegal erected buildings must go. And all of these things went for normal, proper road. For us to have access to modern road with good drainages. Who is enjoying Abuja today? Everyone is enjoying Abuja today. Except some suburbs. You can't do it all. But all the same, Ahmed El-Rufai brought Abuja City into the world recognition. And everyone got to know, apart from Lagos, Nigeria is having Abuja. We should understand the fact that, yes, if someone had performed, and you're having differences concerning maybe there is this rumor or a comeback where all support the insurgency, before a judge can say, Morire, you are guilty of these charges against you, and before I can admit or accept it, I'll surely have gone through it if truly I'm an offender, or there are some kangaroos that want to dance Morire. Is it that I say, yes, I agree, or no? With facts and figures. Just to clear it. I see Ahmed El-Rufai, Nasiru El-Rufai, Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai. I see him as someone that definitely fits in the ministerial list. He still got this wealth of experiences in terms of infrastructure, development, and even security. He did his best as a governor. How many of these things can a governor do or finish? But it's good when you make a pledge and you do or you perform convincingly. You can do it all. As we say, we have a president. What about those from the interiors? What about our land borders? Do we have enough security apparatus working? A governor can only knows about the places he goes to and where he passes. But if the commissioners, if the SAs, if the chairman, if the councillors are truly working hand in hand, definitely there will be a teamwork to making sure that a state is secured or a country is secured. And for days trying to restrict Nasiru El-Rufai, I don't know, because I'm not at the panel. But I tell you, El-Rufai is one of the brains needed in this administration. Okay,
El-Rufai is one of the brains needed in this administration. Just as Morire has stated his own opinion, we have it that there have been a lot of divergent views on this, divided among the various senators in the National Assembly. But let's keep our finger crossed and watch for the rest of the week as things unfold, whether Nasiru El-Rufai will still be confirmed as a minister in the Federal Capital Territory or not. Let's wait and see. From my own end here, I have the Vanguard newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune. And from the Vanguard, from the masthead, Edo PDP to wade into Obaseki Shuaib rift. I also have Pastor Taiwo Odukoya dies at 67. While the big bold headline, federal government's reliance on borrowing must end, and that is according to Tinubu. I also have Tinubu committed to improving citizens' welfare, and that is according to former Finance Minister Okonjo Iweala. Strike, Nigerians dying, federal government begs doctors. And from the Nigerian Tribune, I have ECOWAS slams more sanction on Niger Republic. Morire, from your own end, what do we have?
All right, I'll be treating the Punch newspaper from Nigeria, and the first rider on the top left, Labour rejects Gbajabiamila on subsidy negotiations, writes National Assembly. Also, coming the next story and from the rider, banks offer telcos repayment plan. That's about 120 billion naira debts. The next one, Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, church members mourn as Pastor Odukoya dies. Rest in peace, Pastor. And the very bold rider, Niger, ECOWAS plans fresh sanctions on Burkina Faso, Mali, UN talks fail. Then below it, ECOWAS leaders meet Thursday after botched AU, UN, US planned visit to Niamey. Over 100,000 IDPs stranded in Niger. Businesses grounded in Sokoto, Katsina borders. Reason why we have this issue coming off from the business grounded in Sokoto and Katsina is the fact that these two states are having a major border town that links Niger to Nigeria. Moving on to the next one, Tinubu sets 30-day tax reform target. UI students makes panel because she's good, she's brilliant, and she's excellent. And also, going to politics a bit, Edo PDP seals for peace between Obaseki and Deputy. And to another tragic death that killed a doctor in Lagos concerning the mechanical faulty elevator. Father blames hospital for elevator death. Doctor buried. May our soul rest in peace. Amen. 35 MDAs shun reps job. Racketeering probe. Now, before they can start racketeering probe, I want to say that how many of Nigerian politicians are very, very honest? We're not here to criticize or condemn anyone, but all the same, let them occupy any public office and do the needful to making sure the lives of Nigerians is very, very accurate without any problem. I want to say again, moving on to some riders again, revised public service rules for directors and permanent secretaries. Bauchi sacks senior civil servants over alleged 3 million naira salary scam. LASG announces temporary closure of some roads for 3 days. And to a story from US returns over 40 stolen antiquities to Italy. These are the stories coming from the Punch newspaper. And there is another one. Businessman hits wife's head against wall. Victim dies. This is tragic and very, very bad. Policemen, hunters kill 2 Osun kidnappers, rescue victim. These are good scores. Police begin probe as hoodlums burn reps Anambra home. Political toggery, or probably they are having any kind of misunderstanding per se. Man kidnaps, kills brother's 2 sons in Ogun. And the last one, 2 jailed for hawking hard drugs. All of these stories are having their smooth riding on the Punch newspaper this morning. What have you, Ige?
Okay, let me just quickly take you on this. From the Nigerian Tribune, ECOWAS imposes more sanction on Niger following the expiration of the 7 days deadline issued by Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, for Niger junta to reinstate President Muhammadu Bazoum. The West African has issued more economic sanction on Niger. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered fresh sanction through the central banks of Nigeria on entities and individuals related to and involved with the military junta in Niger Republic. Moriri, look at this. Don't you think this decision will really affect the economic activities in Niger Republic?
I see no reason why it will affect, but rather, you know, the aims and objectives of the ECOWAS is that they are trying to restore the ousted president. At least, because the junta planned a coup and they came out victorious, does not mean ECOWAS should fold their hands and watch what is going on in Niger. Secondly, war against war does not bring result. So they are trying to weaken their source of strength their source of inspiration, their source of wealth. And when all these things get cut off and reduced, definitely it's going to make the junta possibly request for a roundtable talk for discussion on manners and ways and how they can, But what is happening is that these people, these juntas, they have their aims for ousting the president, Mohamed Bazoum. Secondly, we are not in Nigeria to have understood their reasons, but they kept on talking about the growth and strength of corruption in the country, which they requested some ministers, like finance minister, portfolios that are very, very relevant to the economic growth of the country, which they review it as a mismanagement of funds, looting, corruption, to mention a few. And they want to make it sure that everything is not being taken by some individuals away from thousands of citizenry. So I want to say their action, for me, it's not a good idea. It's not. They should have waited for the next election and choose someone as an opposition against the presidency of Mohamed Bazoum. So the action they have taken, it's to me out of annoyance and ignorance per se. But they felt that's their best option, just like what had happened at Burkina Faso and Mali, because these two countries are ready to support the juntas in Niger to fight against ECOWAS. But are we truly making progress in Africa?
Are we truly making progress in Africa? Before we go to the next headline, Morire, I want to find out from you. Now, there is an issue in Niger Republic. You just mentioned Burkina Faso, you mentioned Mali. But there was a report that the president of Russia, in person of Putin, has been inviting those military in charge of those countries. And at the same time, this will be an avenue for them to sell their ammunition, of which, if care is not taken, Africa might be a battleground. What is your take on the kind of bilateral relationship that is going on the ground between the junta in Mali, Burkina Faso, and the president of Russia?
I do not have concrete evidence to have said there is a working bilateral agreement between Russia and Niger. But the truth about it is that I do not see any sense from what the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, has been talking about. You've been fighting Ukraine for a couple of years, and everyone had talked to you to let peace reign. Now you're here wanting to stand as the shield for the juntas against the presidency. There is no normalcy in this relationship between the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, and that of the juntas. And for any reason, the Burkina Faso and Mali, because they are having military ruler, to say they want to support Niger, definitely, maybe the democratically elected presidents, they have been bastardizing the country's funds, looting everything that ought to go around as a country and its citizens. I'm only talking from manner of experience and the normalcy about life. Because I see no reason why, if a country is having a good president and everyone is enjoying, the military will never speak.
Exactly.
Let us be realistic.
Exactly. You're right.
Si baale ilé bá ń ṣe dáadáa, ìyàwó ilé ò ní wò ta.
Sure.
Tí baale ilé bá ń ṣe dáadáa, wọn ò ní lé àwọn ọmọ kúrò ní school kó kàn darí wálé.
Sure.
Àwa ní ká bára wa sọ̀tọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá. A lè ra epo. Ẹ wá pẹ́ fẹ́ kó military lọ bá junta ní Niger. I know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying his best, trying to make these policies work against what some individuals have been achieving, enjoying freely in Nigeria. Tolerance and patience is my take.
Okay, tolerance and patience. Murray, let us take a look at this headline from the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government's reliance on borrowing must end. Remember in 1999, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State, there was an issue when he had a kind of a tussle with the president in power, then in person of Olusegun Obasanjo. As at that point in time, the allocation that was supposed to go to Lagos State was withheld by the federal. And due to that, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to think in the box, think out of the box, and he was able to generate revenue through the state's internally generated revenue. But right now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying something again this morning. Let's see. He said in the headline, federal government reliance on borrowing must end. That's according to Tinubu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday vowed to end Nigerians' over-reliance on borrowing to finance public spending. He made the vow at the inauguration of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform. Nigerian total public debt rose sharply by 501% in the nation's total debt in 8 years to 72.55 trillion in March 2023 from 12.06 trillion in March 2015, a development driven by increased borrowing, worsened by the global pandemic and economic recession in 2026, 2016 and 2022. Morire, when is Nigeria going to stop this borrowing, for God's sake?
Yeah, the truth about it is that if we can manage our agriculture and we can stop those looters who enjoy in making life difficult for average Nigerians, just as what the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been doing, especially agriculture. There are so many abundance in agriculture, in our forestry. Let us dwell on this. Let us make our refineries working back. I tell you, Nigeria will be the beautiful woman that every other nation will look out for.
Every nation will look out for. Moria, do we have any other airline from your own end there?
For my own sake, I want to say that for those who are just joining us, should try to watch everything we've talked about today, as regards the ECOWAS, as regards from the Senate, as regards to the Senate President and other Senate members, rejecting Gbajabiamila's claim concerning what he's been requesting for from them as the rejection of subsidy negotiations, and debt from the banks again coming out to be 120 billion naira debt, and also Tinubu Sanwo-Olu's mourning of late Pastor Odukoya, and also UI students mixed panel. Tinubu set 30-day tax reform target, and also the father of the doctor who died through the failure or mechanical fault of the elevator that rammed onto her while trying to get food from vendor. And also from the political scene, we talked about Edo PDP sues for peace between Obaseki and his deputy. And also, lastly, 35 MDA's Shun Reps job racketeering probe. And the last one as regards the Niger. May God bring rest to Africa. My name is Morire Rebila Lawal, and your channel, which you're watching, is BGI TV Current. Have a lovely time.
Okay, so we want to thank you once again for this program. If you enjoyed today's robust discussion, kindly join us tomorrow for another edition. My name remains Ige Olalekon, and I wish you a lovely day ahead. Bye.